Aw, shit. I'm lagging balls.
That's right, Lagging Balls, your community-focused World of Warcraft podcast. For the people, by some people, with your hosts, Thorn and Fist.
Hello, ballers. Welcome to another free-form sort of discussion about Legion.
Hey.
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 That's the extent of my intro writing skills. Hey.
Hey.
Wow, starting this one off strong.
I know, this is going to be the best episode ever.
It really is, because we got so much cool shit to talk about.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, we're totally aware of stuff going on in other video games right now. Like, we know that Overwatch is in the midst of its
Season 2 competitive.
2 of competitive,
Yes.
and it's got that new map.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
It's insane.
But I've only played it a couple times.
Yeah.
Because Legion.
And, I don't really feel bad about that.
Yeah, we had a funny conversation on Twitter with TBK Zord of the Lords of the Sword podcast and our friend Mudslide, who you'll be hearing more about soon. And TBK said, I've been using the words "because Legion" as the response for a lot of things lately.
Yeah. Let's see. I didn't have a shower in like 5 days because Legion.
Because Legion.
I didn't go to work and I got fired.
Because Legion.
Because Legion. I smell.
Well, that kind of goes along with the first
Oh,
one, but
yeah.
because Legion.
I'm just pulling from real life here.
Sure, yeah. You know, we got a gigantic pile of laundry, each of us.
Because Legion.
Because Legion.
And because Legion, I'm still wearing the same clothes I was wearing when Legion came out. Because Legion. Luckily, it's a spiffy BlizzCon shirt.
It is a BlizzCon shirt. That's a nice shirt.
And it smells incredible.
Because Legion.
Because Legion.
So, quick notes. We have some news stuff to cover. There was a great Devs Talk stuff that we got all kinds of cool stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about our own impressions of Legion as well.
Yeah.
And we just want to talk. We just want to mention up top that there are going to be spoilers this time.
Yeah, we didn't do any last time.
Yes.
Or
so
many.
if you haven't heard the last episode and you want a spoiler free, if you're working through slowly, more power to you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Go back to our last episode and hear general impressions. This time it's balls out
And balls deep. And,
yes.
And balls.
Balls. Alternatively, balls deep and then balls out.
Yes. So the balls would go deep and
Right.
then go out.
Yes. As you do. Because Legion.
Because Legion. Yeah.
Oh, that works for everything.
It really does, because Legion.
So, speaking of Legion.
So, speaking of Legion, Legion sold more than 3.3 million copies in 24 hours.
What?
Yeah.
That's bitchin'.
I'm so happy for Blizz.
So, you know they don't report on subscriber numbers anymore?
No.
But
I'm glad they don't.
3.3 million copies in the first day. Those are all the holdouts.
Yep.
Those are all the people who hadn't been paying any attention to this and are like, oh yeah, there's a new expansion now. Let's get back into it.
Or people who didn't get the pre-purchase.
Yeah.
So.
Or maybe even people who aren't dorks like us and who pre-purchased way ahead of time and have been doing a damn podcast about it during all the downtime. But yeah, it's been out for a week. Turns out it's been a big hit, and the numbers speak to that.
Hell yeah, they do.
3.3 million copies in the first day of release.
That's amazing. And Mike Morheime said that it's been a thrill to see players hunting demons, powering up artifacts, and freely exploring all the new zones in Legion. And we worked hard to make this the best World of Warcraft expansion yet, and we look forward to providing players with even more content as Legion's epic story unfolds in the months ahead.
Okay, so those were the words straight from Mike Morheime.
Yeah.
Another quick caveat to you listeners, especially any of you who are new. We want to give a quick shout out to all of you new listeners. We've got a lot of you who are back to the game. 3.3 million of you just bought the expansion, obviously, in the first day.
And you should all be listening to this podcast.
Right, and well, the numbers are showing us, our numbers are showing us that a lot of you are new. So welcome to the podcast, welcome to the show.
Hi.
And you should know that from here on out, unless we say a quote like we just did from Mike Morheime and we attribute that to Mike Morheime, you have to assume everything else that we're relating to you is in our terms.
Yes.
And if you're new here, it's important that you understand we're irreverent, I would say, is one way to put it.
Did you just call me fat?
Shut up, you dick!
What does that mean?
That's more... Okay, so... No, I did not call you fat.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Because I'm standing here...
you were waiting for
like,
an answer
holding
on
my
that.
breath and sucking it all in. Meanwhile, I've got like half a sandwich stuck to my face because Legion.
It does work for everything.
Once the mayonnaise gets tacky enough, you can stick it wherever you need to. Once I saw somebody wipe their mouth with their sandwich that they were eating because they had a sandwich on their mouth. I was like, did you just wipe your mouth with that sandwich? And she's like, I thought nobody saw.
That's kind of brilliant.
I know.
I mean, you want to
like you've got the inside of the sandwich and it gets on your face, right. And then you use the smooth, clean bread on the outside to wipe it away, and then you're fresh. Fresh as fresh bread.
And then you can just eat it again.
Yeah.
It almost escaped, but you've reestablished the connection with the sandwich.
Yeah.
So, that's the long way around to saying that we say a lot of swear words and a lot of dick and fart jokes. So, if that's not your thing, you might want to duck out. If it is your thing, like most of us of us gamers, you're our people. Stick around, you fucks, because it's on.
That's not very nice.
All right, stick around, ballers.
That's better.
Which is what we like to call you guys, because you guys are ballers. Y'all be balling.
Yeah. So.
I love saying stuff like that because the face you make. You're like, you know you're white, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Okay, so Mike Morheime, kudos to you. Ian Hazacostas, kudos to you. All of the
Big
devs.
Kudos.
Yes, all kudos to Ian. We'll come back to that.
I'll give him my kudos.
But one moment to just take 1 moment to give credit where credit is due. The expansion is gorgeous. That's, I think, a given. Yeah. Unfortunately. But in all honesty, my Twitter feed is full. I'm sorry, my own Twitter feed, the one that I'm putting out. I don't know if you call that a different... Anyway, the tweeting that I've been doing has all been just like a series of ridiculously gorgeous, amazing scenes and vignettes of just all kinds of... including weird little side things that have no business being as beautiful as they are.
Yeah.
So... It may be a given that we expect a beautiful game because they've done such a good job of doing that for so long, but good God,
it's
they
even
keep
more
topping
beautiful.
each other.
Even more beautiful.
It is.
And quirky and adorable.
It is. It's so great.
Like, they've changed up the models for rabbits and sheep, and I know this personally because, you know, I'm a mage and I turn people into rabbits and sheep, but, like, just, like, even little things like that. And new Dalaran looks like old Dalaran, but better. And each of the new zones in the Broken Isles is, I can't tell which is more beautiful.
Yeah. We were just arguing about that the other night.
Yeah.
Which one's more beautiful?
I don't know.
I was like, I'm more beautiful.
Hey, I have a question.
What?
Do you think around Blizzard headquarters people call Mike Morheime Stormheim Morheime?
Where did that go?
I was in Stormheim yesterday and I was like, Stormheim Morheime.
Like Legion is the reason?
Yeah, because that rhymes. Stormheim Morheime.
Guys, I've been teasing her about the Legion is the reason thing all week.
It rhymes. But yeah, so we've been playing nonstop. I've been posting screenshot after screenshot on Twitter. Thank God for the Twitter integration.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I've been live streaming onto my Facebook, just like showing people who don't play what they're missing out on with Legion. And I've made them like public, so people who like try to look at my profile because they hate me or they're jealous of me are like, oh my God, she's playing this game and it looks awesome. Games. I need to play this game.
Are you really wasting all your life away playing video games?
And then they see how beautiful Legion is, and they're like, shit, I've been wasting my life not playing video games.
Aha!
Now I am the stupid one.
Because Legion.
Because Legion. Exactly. So I have an announcement to make.
What?
Pause for effect here. Okay. I am now an archmage.
Congratulations!
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. So you finished your... class quest, right?
Yes, the mage class crash quest.
The crash quest?
Yes.
The crash quest is this podcast.
I guess. What would be like the reward? Artifact power?
There's no reward.
Oh. There is no reward.
There is only cost. There is no reward. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got the title and a new, a bigger staff. And and it looks beautiful, and
giggity.
I had to turn on my own nameplates again, just so
time.
I could see Archmage Thist.
It's about time because none of your screenshots have your own name in them.
Yeah, well, I don't need my own name like cluttering up my
Everybody else
vision.
does.
Really? Everybody?
Well, I mean, for your screenshots.
Oh, well,
When
whatever.
you're sharing your screenshot.
But
anyway,
I love to see it.
congratulations.
Thank you. And it's
that's
just...
a cool title.
Yeah, and I've been playing a mage for so long. Like, since before MOP, I think? Or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years that is. I've played since vanilla, so... I mean, all the years
of course.
They're starting to run together. But, after all this time and just, like, loving being a mage and wanting to be immersed in mageness and so playing a mage for 4 years since Pandaria came out in 2012. It gave me the same feeling as like a school graduation or something, you know?
You
like
really did get really giddy.
I did.
I appreciated that.
I was like laughing my head off. It was so great. And I
You're
feel
a little maniacal.
I was
And rightly
excited.
so. That's really cool.
It was.
It's really nice that they capped that experience off with giving you such a lofty title.
Yeah, and
Archmage that is really cool.
It is really cool, and even before I got the title, the people in my class hall, including Khadgar himself and Aladai, have been calling me Archmage, and like even that was just enough to like make me like a grin and smile because this expansion has been out for a week, and I'm already feeling massive immersion and massive love for my class and my character, like even more so than usual. And like it's I know this sounds like incredibly nerdy, but it's like an indescribable feeling, like going into my class hall and seeing all my fellow mages and you know, like everybody running around, like the fire mages with their flaming balls above their head, and like our little water elementals trailing behind us, and whatever arcane mages do, because it's not my business, you know, and just like all of these like really important players in lore calling me Archmage and making me feel like I'm important, and that, you know, the class hall couldn't exist without me, and just like all these quests and the mage quests that tell you like use your blink, use your invisibility, use your conjuring. Like, when has that ever come up in a quest? Never. And it's cool because I know that like no other class could do these quests but me. So it just like in WoD I was feeling this way, but everybody was in a general sense, you know?
Sure,
because,
individually.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, it's our champion, you need to help us do this, blah, 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 here's your garrison. But this, like, it feels like my character is being put into the story of World of Warcraft, but in a very, like, significant and specific way that makes me feel extra special. And, like, this is the missing link in this game that I've been looking for, you know?
Awesome.
It's like, I am a part of this game. I'm not just doing stuff in the game. I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm a part of the story. I'm a part of the lore now. And it's just, it's so cool, and it's only been a week in, you know? And I feel completely satisfied. And I'm not even, like, I'm not even supposed to be maining my mage this expansion.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stop playing her. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to start up my tank because I just feel so fucking good.
Yeah.
And on top of everything else, the mage class hall is way nicer than everybody else's.
Oh, man.
I mean...
Are we going there right now?
You know it's true.
Are we going there right now?
That's the tea, honey.
I wish you guys could have seen the face associated with that. It was brilliant. So, okay. All right. So, let me take the gist of what you're saying here. You go into your class hall. Unbelievable sights.
Yeah.
Indescribable feelings.
Soaring, tumbling, freewheeling.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you're on a magic carpet ride.
I mean, I do have a carpet.
That's
See,
pretty cool.
Warcraft provides.
Yes,
It's like,
it
you
does.
want a magic carpet? Be a tailor.
Yeah,
Jump on.
that's so cool.
It's
Well,
a whole
I'm
new
really,
world.
I'm really glad. I have some of the same similar,
Yeah?
similar, which is a similar word to similar.
Uh-huh.
I have some of those same similar feelings about the priest class. So, recap. I didn't intend to level my priest. I didn't intend to make that my main this expansion. I was trying to do my demon hunter, but for whatever reason, at the moment of launch, I'm talking on the
Minutes.
dot,
Yeah.
moment of launch, I couldn't get the initial quest, and so I was standing around in Orgrimmar waiting for the quest to appear for my demon hunter, and it wasn't happening. So I switched over to my priest, and I went with that, and the rest is history so far.
Yeah. Do you think that was fate?
I don't know.
Maybe.
It might have just been server throttling.
Maybe. It could have been that.
Might have been fateful server throttling. Either way.
I love a good throttling.
Well put. But yeah, either way, so the priest has been the main, and I love the priest changes. I am really enjoying Shadow Priest play. I'm really enjoying the nuances of it. It's hard, to get it right, and you get punished pretty hard for not getting the priority system down correctly, but I think that adds a new level of things to me. I think it's helping me become a more advanced player, I guess, if you will.
It's forcing you to.
Yeah, it's forcing me to, and or making me suck at DPS when I don't get it right.
Yeah.
So, it's very important to get it right. And anyway, we'll get into that more in the future. I'm not finished with my class quest yet. So I do not have my class
You know why?
title. Why?
Because you've been fucking around on the auction house for like days now.
Not just. I've also been working.
Oh yeah, IRL. Gotcha.
Yeah, fair enough. But fair enough. I have been spending too much time trying to make money in the new expansion. You're very right. You're very correct. Time I could have been spending. Anyway, so I'm doing all that, and as you do, spending a lot of time in my class hall to work on those sorts of things. Gotta say, one of the only downsides of Legion for me so far, the priest class hall. Pretty disappointing.
I'm sorry.
Pretty
We're
disappointing.
not that sorry.
No. It's not bad. It's just not. So, I've seen yours.
Yeah.
You've shown it off. It's gorgeous. It's
Yes.
really cool. It's very
beautiful.
thematic. It's got all kinds of cool nooks and crannies.
It
and
looks like Hogwarts, TBH.
It really does,
Yeah.
honestly. And honestly, it's just so cool in so many ways. And then I look at mine, and it's just kind of lame.
Yeah,
It's kind of lame.
it is.
And priests, you would think would be in some sort of cathedral-esque type thing.
Like paladins
They're
are?
not. Well, see, that's where I was going with this, because one of my latest class quests just had me. Okay, get this. This one kind of chaps my ass. So,
Ew.
the priest's class hall is going to get attacked, and in preparation for the attack, we're doing all kinds of things as a class together in the class hall. And one of those things is to go to the paladin class hall and ask them for help. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on.
I'm sorry.
I'll defend this shit. I don't need the paladins.
How? With what?
I don't know.
By getting insane?
Yeah. Maybe I'll get a little insane in the membrane and we'll see what happens. But the point is, did you have to go to anybody else's class hall and ask for help?
Of course not.
So that's what I'm getting at. What the hell? So here's what I do like. The setup of the class hall is good. The format is good. Everything is easily reachable. It's not too far away. It's spacious, so it doesn't feel crowded. The ceiling is real high. It looks really nice.
That's nice.
It's pretty. It's pretty, but it's not the other two that I've seen, which are yours and the paladin ones, are gorgeous. So in comparison, it's pretty drab. So I'm wondering, again, I'm not finished with the class hall quest yet, but I wonder if maybe things change toward the end or something. Maybe I'm being preemptive in this. I may change my tune on this. But in terms of impression of the place and the epicness feeling of the place, not so much. Especially having to go ask. I mean, having to go ask another class for assistance.
It's kind of embarrassing.
It doesn't have anything to do with the look and feel of the place, but it's not making me feel great about the class. So, however, side note, the cool quests that you have to do to get your other artifact weapons, I did actually switch specs as you're supposed to for those. I think, or at least that's the intention.
Yeah.
And I absolutely fell in love with disc priests.
Oh, good.
So the change to disc priests are really cool too. And I got enough practice in there that I started going out in the world and playing with it for a while. I'm still not putting any artifact power into it. That's all still going into my shadow side. But the disc side, I actually went and used in a dungeon and healed a whole dungeon with it.
Ooh.
And there were some bumps.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was smooth, but I was fortunate enough to have a really patient, really nice, really awesome group.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Shit.
Really patient, really nice, really awesome. They were super nice. It was almost everybody's first time through. We couldn't figure out that fight at the end either, so we were having issues, but it wasn't the healing, thankfully. It wasn't me. Of course, that wasn't the problem.
Sure, right. Yeah.
But the point is, disc healing, very cool. It's totally
I'm
atonement
glad.
healing.
And then, speaking of, change specs, I've been, Frost Mage NA,
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah,
forever.
totally.
That's who I am as a person, as a Frost Mage. But I went Fire at the beginning of the expansion, or last week, because, you know, more deeps, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't enjoying it. So I went back to Frost officially.
Good for you.
Fuck it. You know, I'm not doing as much deeps. Like, when I get into a dungeon and people don't know me, they're like, wow, Mage, you suck. I'm like, thanks. But,
Have they said that?
no, but that's what I think in my head.
You're thinking they're saying that.
Yes.
Nobody's actually said that at all.
Yeah. But, you know, like,
Stop
it's...
putting yourself down.
I know. But, you know, I have, like, at that point, I had, like, half of my artifact power in fire, so, like, I wasn't, you know, I couldn't do as much damage as I was doing because I was building it back up.
Yeah.
But just, like, before, this expansion came out, I was drooling over Ebonchill. Like, I just, you know,
So
like, it's
cool.
the coolest thing ever, and now that I have it, like, it just, like, as soon as I went back to Frost, like, my heart opened up, and I was just so happy all over again, so I'm just gonna, I don't care anymore, I'm
So
just
you're
gonna
just
stay.
so deep
Yeah.
in the mage
So deep.
class.
So
and,
deep.
And feeling so immersed.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
Thanks.
I didn't think I would feel as immersed in the priest class. I just talked badly about the priest class hall. I'm still immersed in the priest
Yeah.
storyline,
Do
and I feel far more connected to that priest than I ever have before.
Do you think
so that's
that,
for sure.
that
That's still
maybe
working.
because you feel that way and you haven't really ever played your priest that much, do you think it's just that Legion is doing such a good job at making people feel special about their specs and classes that, you know, it's hard to not enjoy it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'm definitely
because I'm
looking-
still enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to leveling up one of my other characters to see if I get the same kind of pride that I do. You know, because I'm an OG mage, but
Yeah.
like when I play my warrior or my demon hunter, for example, like will I feel proud to be a warrior or a demon hunter when I play it, like, when I play out the class
Yeah.
quests and stuff?
That'll be a good comparison. You'll have to report back on that.
I will. So, speaking of artifact weapons, we have a link for you guys in the show notes to a Wowhead guide about the hidden potential of your artifact weapons.
Sweet.
And that means, like, cool things that they do, like whisper to you occasionally or give you buffs or whatever, and where to get, like, these hidden looks for your weapon. But I don't know if any of it's been, like, absolutely proven yet, but it's all there.
That's
if you
cool that
wanna
there are
try
hidden
it.
looks.
Yeah, for mine, Ebonchill gives me the opportunity to find a different person every day in Dalaran who is like a memory of that person from very, very long time ago.
Crazy.
So when they see Ebonchill, they think I'm Aladai, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up?
That's
what
awesome.
What are you doing? Here's a buff," and it like gives me rep gain or something like that.
Sweet.
So every day I go and do that. But apparently for me to find the hidden look of Ebonchill, I have to take each port in my class hall, which there are many, and I have a daily chance of being ported somewhere else to get something that gives me the different cosmetic look for
Cool.
Ebonchill. So definitely check that out because it's pretty cool, and it might be something that you try to do daily. And wouldn't it be sweet if, like, the next week of Legion you had a completely different looking artifact weapon than everybody else?
Hell yeah.
Love impressing people and making them jealous and hate me.
Is that just kind of a girl thing?
I mean, if you want to be sexist about it, no, probably.
Maybe it's just kind of a human thing.
Maybe it's just a
honestly.
me thing. Did you ever think of
Wow,
that?
I wasn't pointing fingers, but okay.
But yeah. So, what's your favorite starting zone in the Broken Isles?
Well, I mean, it's hard to choose,
And I guess
right?
not just starting zone because we're all in Suramar now, pretty much. So
Yeah, and I'm actually liking Suramar. But I think of the starting zones that you're generally leveling in, I'm still going to go with High Mountain.
yeah, I think me too. We started there.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it looks so much like my homeland, Canada, that, you know, because, like, I'm
With Tauren running around.
Tauren and meese and beavers and fish flopping everywhere. It's beautiful. And totem poles, like, it's fucking cool.
And a quest to kick fish back into the water.
Keep the fish.
I really enjoyed that quest, by the way.
Everybody has.
It's a great quest.
It's a great quest.
So simple.
Yeah.
So nice. But yeah, how pretty it was. Some of the areas are a little nuts to get around in. So, for example, okay, in High Mountain in particular, there are some places I've needed to get to that I have not been able to find after multiple tries. I eventually had to go to Wowhead and find my way up to one of the areas that's like way up in the mountain, even further up in the mountain, by taking directions off of Wowhead comments that somebody had literally written out line by line and then made a video about how to get there because it's that complicated.
God bless those people.
I know.
God, I love you
I
guys.
know. And it's nice that we finally have computers that can do that as well. I plan on doing those same sorts of things once I'm the first one to actually do something that doesn't
That'll
already
never
exist.
happen.
Right, yeah.
That'll never happen.
Well, fair enough. But, you know, there's so many twisty turns and side trails and things like that the thing I like about this so much is that I know we're going to level other characters. And I know that there are plenty of other places, even within these same zones, that we haven't even been to yet.
Hell yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, well, you know, I'll just take a different path. You know, I'll start in Ajuna this time. You know, that's one way to do it. But then you can go in a completely different direction in Azuna. So that's just really cool.
It is. It's just really well thought out content. So I've fallen off a lot of cliffs in like every zone. Like I'll just turn around and I'll be falling off a cliff.
Well, then it's a good thing you have slow fall.
I know, but it's really rampant, this expansion.
Yeah.
Just cliff falling.
Maybe you should watch where you're going.
I don't have time. When I'm getting to some place, first I put on slow fall, just in case. Then I get on my mount, and then I walk or run in the, like, actual direction, like the straight and narrow direction. And whatever gets in my way, I, like, move around or, like, jump off of or just sort of, like, jump and aim kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah,
you just gotta...
Yeah, I've been doing the same.
Yeah. And then you run through mobs and stuff.
It does not work that way.
I always run through mobs and laugh because they're hitting me, but nothing's happening because I'm running away.
Yeah.
But the second they dismount me, I'm so fucking angry.
I know.
Just like, how dare you?
I think Juden brought that up in some of our guild chats about it, that's one of the things... Hi, Juden! That's one of the things out there that's a little frustrating about things scaling with you is you can get dazed wherever you are now. You can't just ignore mobs
it's
like
offensive.
You used to be able to.
It's offensive to me.
I'm an archmage.
Yeah.
You don't just sneak up behind me and daze me.
I'm an archmage.
What happened to me? The same thing happened to me last night. I was trying to finish off... I'm so desperate and so in love with this expansion that I was falling asleep at the keyboard last night. And I was like a child who didn't want to go to bed. And I was like, no! I'm going to keep going until I get this last quest. It's just over here. I'm going to do it. Before bed. So I head off in that direction. And I'm doing exactly what you were just talking about. I'm running through a field. This is in Suramar in the northwest middle-ish zone. And there's a bunch of snarlers, wolves, in that area. And I'm running through and I get dismounted by some fucking snarler. And then I have to turn and kill like 3 of them because they're all following, you know? And then when I'm finally almost done with that, I hear the boo! Which means that an Alliance rogue just went into stealth right next to me. So I'm trying to mount up, still in combat for some reason, which that's been a weird thing that keeps happening in this expansion too, is throughout leveling I just found myself in combat a lot.
I feel
where
like
there was
that
nothing around.
always happens, so.
Yeah, maybe I'm just noticing it more.
Do you have a follower? Like a bodyguard?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Well, I do sometimes when that allows, but they were on missions.
Yeah.
So
my bodyguards
so in this case,
are always killing people, and I'm trying to get away.
Yeah, see, it wasn't like that this way, and I had just killed everything that I thought I had aggroed.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there, and I'm healing up. I'm trying to heal up because I heard that sound. I know there's a stealthy around, but all I can do is try and heal up a little bit, and then I'm trying to mount, and it won't go, and it won't go, and it won't go. Suddenly, sapped, and then it's all over.
Of course.
So that was frustrating.
I've been like walking around the Broken Isles with my own little entourage because I've had my water elemental and a bodyguard, and I have mirror images. So sometimes when I'm fighting things, it's like,
which one am I? Which one am I?
6. Yeah, there's like 6 of me.
Damn.
There's 6 of us. And I've recently been tooling around with Millhouse Manastorm as my bodyguard.
Oh God.
Which is really cool in itself, right? Because he's been like a major character throughout this whole thing. And
does he talk a lot of shit?
He talks a lot of shit, and he's always asking to borrow my artifact weapon. I'm like, fuck you, Millhouse. But
awesome.
yeah, I can disable my water elemental, but he'll just go to town on anything that's been shooting at me. So, including members of the opposite faction. And I'm just like standing there. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a gnome. Like you talk to him. I don't fucking.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. The few times I have had a follower around, I've had to immediately start attacking an NPC or something like that just to get them to stop attacking an alliance. If I'm not trying to PvP, which
if
usually
you run
I'm not.
away far enough, they usually stop. But yeah.
In one case, my follower was attacking somebody after we took down one of those world bosses.
Yeah.
He's sitting there attacking this ally paladin. He's just like throwing snowballs at him or whatever the hell he was doing. And the paladin turns and he starts to attack the thing. And I just kind of backed up to like indicate, all right, like I'm not trying to kill you, dude. Like I don't know, dude's off the hook. Like he's off the chain. I don't know what the guy. Look,
he's even more insane than I am.
The guy, you know what? He was brought up wrong. He's got some issues. I can't speak for him. So he kills it, right? He kills my follower, and I'm like, okay, well, good. I mean, at least it's solved or whatever. I wonder what happens now. So I had backed off a little while, but I hadn't looted the boss yet. So I run back forward to loot the boss, and he respawns and just immediately starts attacking him all over again.
The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Because Legion.
Because Legion.
But yeah, so that happens a lot during World Quests, which are great. Okay, the thing about World Quests is it brings people together, like cross-faction, in your guild, whatever. And, so far in Legion, it's been like, I can't quest with you right now because, I'm working on my mage questing, or
I'm busy trying to dominate the auction house.
Yeah, or I'm tailoring, or whatever. So it's you can do dungeons with your friends and stuff, but in the past, when everybody starts in the same place, it's easy to like quest with your friends, get the same achievements at the same time, blah blah blah.
You gotta go back to the same quest giver.
Yeah, so it's been different this time because not all of our friends started in the same place at the same time. So it's I'm not trying to say that Legion's been lonely or anything like that, because far from it. Like everybody's back, everybody's talking about everything, and
we've all been encouraged together.
Absolutely. Nice. But the thing about World Quest is it gives everybody a chance to hang out with their friends and do something, and do it like all day if you want to, because there's almost that many every day of World Quest. So I just think that World Quests are like the answer to friends being split up and people being split up because of like how specific, and also how you can choose your own adventure, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like remedies that.
And it's incredibly thematic.
Yeah.
So if the whole theme of this expansion was let's group together in halls for our specific classes, right? And let's bring people back together instead of separating them out into their own garrisons. And now let's bring them out together out in the world, which on a PvP server can get interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And by interesting, I mean deadly. But
it hasn't been that bad, honestly.
No, it hasn't been that bad. But, there are also PvP-oriented quests as well.
Yeah.
Which is also cool. So it's just cool that all of those things are out there.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but the flavor text and, like, the quest details and stuff like that are incredibly quirky.
They really are. And funny.
This time around. Like, it's... And like, even our responses, like, we're doing a quest yesterday. It was the world quest, and it was for the Kirin Tor, and one mage would tell us what to do, and our response would be, what? And then you click that, because that's what you're saying. And I don't know, it's just been, like, extra quirky. Like, I was hiding in a conveniently placed basket last night.
Yeah.
Waiting for something to happen, so...
In Suramar City?
Yeah. So everything has just been, like, better.
Yeah.
Everything's just better.
It's well written. It's beautifully developed. The pathing to things it's not direct, but it's not. So it's windy and indirect, but it's not frustrating, and so it's just incredibly interesting all the way around.
Yeah. And there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
So much to do. And
the idea of the scalable mobs and scalable questing and all that sort of thing means that if you do want to level together, no matter. It used to be that, oh, hey, I'm level 23 and you're level 25. We can quest together. The rest of the guild is off doing other things at other levels or whatever. Now, it's anywhere between 100 and 110 you can quest together no matter what. You guys can sit there and do exactly the same quest and be getting XP for it.
Yeah.
At a scaled...
Yeah.
Which is just cool. And also the whole world quest thing. I love the addition of the universal tagging.
Yeah.
Except by faction, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're in a world quest zone and you have to kill 10 marshmallows, then if an alliance person hits the marshmallow first, then you don't get that tag. But if somebody from your faction hits it, then it encourages you to go help them out.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, my favorite world quests are the big ones where you have to kill like a big giant thing because there's always people there, and you just like you get in on that shit and
everybody
benefits.
Epic too.
It does. it's like, oh, we all need to like pull together and do this, and my immersion is just off the charts lately. It's just been so great. I don't even live in the real world anymore. I'm not sure if I ever did, but...
Speaking of off the charts here, I want to talk real briefly about the discovery.
Ooh, what discovery?
I mean, speaking of killing something big out in the world...
Yeah.
Kazumoth, the Hungering.
Yeah, so we were online...
Oh my god.
...when this happened, and all of a sudden everybody got this notification about Azeroth, like, quivering or shaking or recoiling in fear. I don't remember. I was in the middle of a quest.
Yeah, I wish I had known what it was talking about,
because
I would have flocked right to go help or whatever.
Yeah.
So, Kazumoth was spawned. He's a gigantic hidden world boss. Now, how you hide a gigantic world boss, I'm not exactly sure. But the idea is that basically, some people were searching for a long-lost mount. It's this hippogriff. And they were doing what they thought was going to lead them to this hippogriff, which was to click on these crystals throughout the world.
Right.
And somebody got it right. But instead of a hippogriff, they cracked open Azeroth and a giant fucking boss came out. Which is so cool!
I know!
Like, honestly, the idea of there's been hidden things in this game before, right?
Right.
And there have been things that people have discovered in this world, but they've been more on the level of Turkey, the little Murloc guy, right?
Yeah.
So they put in Murloc in the game. I don't know how long that was in there before somebody found it in that weird little place.
Nobody does.
But somebody discovered it. It was cool. We all went and got it, and that's awesome. And we're like, hey, that's cool. There's something hidden. This is a giant fucking boss.
Yeah. And it drops a jellyfish mount.
Which is so cool. I haven't seen that around yet. I've only read about it because I haven't been able to play very much yet since I heard about this. But it's so cool, and I want it so bad. And oh my god, I'm so excited.
Barely.
But yeah. So, going to kill a giant world boss in a world quest is one thing, and that's so cool. But then the fact that there are these things that are just still hidden, and we're going to come back around to this when we talk about the walkthrough with the devs with Ian Hesikostas from yesterday, because he touches on some of that stuff. But just the idea that stuff's out there, doesn't that just add a whole other level of awesomeness?
Yeah, I mean, Ian did say that there were more mysteries out there for us to solve.
Yeah.
He said a lot of things yesterday,
Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
So briefly, related to Kazumoth, I mentioned that people were on the hunt for this long-forgotten hippogriff, and the ever-elusive pink and purple reins of the long-forgotten hippogriff were the thing that they were after when they were clicking on these crystals. So if you're looking for the same, you need to be in the Azuna zone, and you want to try and find them and click on them each. There's 5 within 8 hours of each other without dying. Now, this is all theoretical.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure that this is how it's happening. This is from a variety of sources. We're going to put links in the show notes to both the Kazumoth and the Long Forgotten Hippogriff, so check them out.
And good luck, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Go for it.
We're going to be looking, too. I mean, hopefully by next week we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
This mystery of mysteriousness. Speaking of phone apps, how about that new one?
Transitions
That's
are real.
a master segue right there. We've been doing this podcast for almost 2 years. And yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but honestly, though, the app is awesome.
it's fucking great. You can just do your missions
Yes.
from your phone, and like this is exactly what people were talking about in WOD. They're like, oh, I wish there was an app that we could use so we could do the table missions on, so I could do it at work and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Nice one.
Thanks.
Because there have been people using the other app for the auction house, which is a nice touch and a rather complicated thing to put into an app that works actually really well. In fact, in some ways, better than the in-game auction house. But this, in particular, for all of your class halls, that's the sort of thing you want to keep advancing, even when you're not playing or when you're at work or whatever.
Definitely when you're at work.
Just not so much that you're like, hey, get off your phone!
You're like, I'm busy.
Yeah. This world's not going to save itself.
Yeah, this is way more important than work. Well, then you're fired. Good.
Now I can play more.
Without your phone.
Again.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit right here and do it. You have to leave the premises, sir. No. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go home and play.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on the map, wow. On the app, you can manage your followers. You can train more of the recruits, which for me are called acolytes. You can train new ones of those recruits. You can manage the followers that you do have, since there's a cap on them, and you have to choose which ones to send on which missions. And speaking of, you can start and complete the missions. So, and then I think there's a couple other things, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking convenient.
Yeah.
For the WoW player on the go.
Yeah. And there's quite a bit in there, so.
Yeah, the only thing is, though, I'm not sure if it says that you have come online in the game, but it definitely says that you've gone offline when you stop using it. So if you have, like, active guild members and they try to talk to you, you know, maybe just sort of tell them that, like, oh, I've been using the app, and I think it shows me as online and then offline, so I'm sorry.
I'm not ignoring you guys.
I'm not ignoring you, and also, if you use it while you're already playing WoW, like, if you're on your computer and you open up the app, it'll log you out of your game. So don't do that either. Just go to your fucking table.
Right. Yeah, I tried to get cheeky with that last night. I was flying somewhere. I forget where. I'm on my way somewhere. I'm in the air. I'm flying. And then I go, I'm like, oh, I'll check on my class hall thing. I think this is probably done. I log in, immediately get kicked from the game. And I'm like, damn it, what have I done?
That's like when you're on Facebook on your computer and then you open up Facebook on your phone because you're a fucking idiot like me.
You're just sitting in front of your computer but on your phone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
It's very meta. Can we just... Thank you.
I know what you're going to ask. Yes, we could talk about Ian now.
All right. So,
I can see it on your face.
There's a Q&A yesterday with Josh and Ian, but mostly Ian, and it was on Twitch. You can still watch it. We'll have a link to it. I've been watching it over and over, but it was just questions from, I think, Twitter, or they didn't actually say where the questions were from.
Yeah, but you could
Must
submit
have been
them.
the message board or something. Anyway, and Ian was answering them, and I was quickly taking notes. Most of them are spelled wrong because I was also taking screenshots and video and, phasing in and out of reality in my own mind.
Adding pictures of him to your hope chest.
Yeah. Shush. Making collages with Mod Podge and things like that. But anyway, so I took some notes. I didn't cover everything, because you'll be able to watch it, but and we're not really a news podcast, but I thought some of his answers were really cool. So one of the questions was, will there be why is there a follower cap? Will we get more? So I think the cap is like 8 of them.
Yeah.
And you can only use 5, I think, at the moment.
Right.
He says... Ian says, yes, there will be more champions at some point. He agrees it's awkward that there's only like 5 being available. But they, as in Blizzard, didn't
There
want...
is more than one person who works there, honey.
Probably. Lost my train of thought. They don't want us to do all of the things. They don't want us to feel like pressured to do all the things all at once. Because that's
makes sense.
That's moving into garrison territory.
That makes that actually makes sense.
Yeah,
that actually makes sense.
They took notes from last time, and they want the mission table to be a smaller piece of the whole Legion package. As it was such a huge piece of the WAD package. Good. And we came to resent that.
I'm all about that. I don't want another garrison table.
No. They asked why the Rock Feather Kite and Brulfist Idol were nerfed. Why don't you want free flying? Ian said that they took away that sort of thing because they wanted to do a new angle on Aviana's Feather. The Aviana's Feather quest is in High Mountain, and I tried it twice and I failed, so I have yet to finish it.
I didn't even know it was in there.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't have it, but apparently, like it doesn't like throw you too high in the air this time, and you have a little more say in like how to maneuver yourself.
Interesting.
But they just don't want to make the toys too functional, They want it to just be sort of
They're
like
supposed to be fun,
and cosmetic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've always said that about that too.
Yeah.
That the toys are not supposed to be. In fact, that was the answer before about why this or that wasn't a toy.
Yeah.
And they said because it's too functional. It's not a. Toys are fun only.
Yeah. So they asked, like, one question was simply warlocks, and
they don't even have to state the question.
Warlocks. Ian said, warlocks have a huge ramp up. They get better with time. They need like more time to like sort of ramp up their damage. He says he's not saying things are perfect, but he said as a whole, locks are less mobile and more tanky than evasive, and they want to build on those traits. So he sort of like segued from that into just like sort of reminding people that spamming the Warlock forums and any Blizzard forum in general with, like, petitions to fix things and hashtag fix this and stuff like that. It just, like, clogs their ability to find out exactly what is wrong.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are always complaining. And he's saying that, like, complaints are conflictive because some people are complaining about things that other people are praising and vice versa. So when there's just a bunch of motherfucking idiotic fucking drivel in the fucking shit, then it's, like, fucking hard to figure out what the fuck they need to do because it's just a bunch of assholes getting immediately angry at things and waving their torches and furrowing their caveman brows. It's just... I mean, he didn't say that. That's not him. That's all me.
Let's clarify that.
That's all me. Ian would never say that, but just constructive feedback is the easiest and most effective way to get what you want.
Right.
Not petitions, not hashtags.
Yes. And disclaimer, that's not what all Warlock players look like.
No.
That's just, and in fact, that's class agnostic. Anybody who's just, again, constructive feedback is the point here.
Yeah.
Tell them things that are going to help them fix it.
Yeah, exactly. When will the monk role be fixed was the question. He says soon.
You got to put the TM next to that. The
soon, TM.
The official
2016.
Blizzard soon TM.
Continuing class hall story next patch? No. The next patch is more Nightborn, Karazhan, etc., but there will be more class hall story later.
That's cool. I actually thought the class hall stuff would stop after the initial stuff.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's that's great for me. One of the questions was, why does the warrior class campaign take longer than others? My favorite Ian Hazakosta's answer from yesterday was, we screwed up. Pause for effect.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, he says they're going to try to fix it. Originally, like, every class campaign was supposed to take that long, but they made it shorter. But then there was a bug before Legion came out, and it just sort of made the warrior...
It reverted it back to the longer version.
So, oops.
At least he can just say that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that they just come right out and admit stuff like that.
There's so many things that I appreciate about Ian. His eyes, his face, the shirt, the shirt that he wears with the Legion and the bowler shirt, and just the fact that he's able to say things like that with his mouth and his voice.
With his perfect mouth.
Somebody asked, will there be plans to add to the Legion companion app? They said maybe, we're going to see. They said, Costumoth, what inspired you? Ian says it's cool to have mysteries and secrets, and there's lots of more cool stuff to find, which is really encouraging.
That's an important point.
Yeah.
There's lots more cool stuff to find.
Lots more cool stuff.
That makes me, I'm stoked.
Yeah. Somebody asked, how are you going to pace the new content? You know, like, pacing is very important to people, as we've seen. Ian says, better.
That's good.
Yeah, that's great. And will World Quest scale with gear? And he says, nah, but that's why they add new content.
Also very cool.
Yeah, so that's basically just a very general overview. Like, you can watch it yourself, but you should. It's real good.
Yeah.
It's a real good hours worth of really enjoyable Blizzard content that everybody should watch.
Okay.
Preferably alone, probably.
Okay, relax. All right. So, great info in there. We'll have the link in the show notes. Our question of the week. Where did you start in the Broken Isles?
So it was a tie between Azuna and Stormheim. Mike Stormheim. Following with Volshara and High Mountain is the
oh,
least.
Wow.
Yeah, so
most people did not start where we started.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Aren't we special?
Yeah, and 30% of the respondents both for Azuna and Stormheim. So a good 60% of you listeners who filled out this in particular, which was on Twitter, right?
Yep.
You guys all started in Azuna and Stormheim.
Yeah.
Mike Stormheim.
Way to go. We also asked, what is your most favorite part of Legion so far?
Oh, so many things. How do I choose in 140 characters? Starting with Saint Elsewhere, who says, class quests and integrating the old world into 100 to 110 content.
Agreed.
Well put.
Kara at Zendara says, kicking fish!
Yes, the kicking fish quest! Spanky Hunter says, it's the questing. It's just so awesome.
Hell yeah. Our guilty Platinum Monkey says, my lack of hygiene since it came out. Because Legion, right?
Because Legion.
Because Legion.
And then Draven Dresden says, I got to ride a T-Rex, Devilsaur. That's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah. Monkey Monk says, favorite part of Legion has to be my class hall. Really nailed what it feels like to be a monk. I don't mind being called Master Winky Face.
That's awesome.
That's hot.
Juden at Hey Juden says every fucking thing.
Hell yeah. Chief Vol'jin also says everything. Well, except for the whole dying thing.
Oh, spirit of Vol'jin.
You're not dead. You're alive.
Never forget. Chad Glunt at Wargus AIE says, just did the Outlaw class quest to sneak into Gallywix's Pleasure Palace to steal a love potion. Best quest yet.
I think that might be the best quest ever.
That's freaking awesome.
The Victor Sanctum says, definitely the lore. The storylines in this game right now are mind-blowing, so much fun. It's like an 11-year-old book. That's a really great way to put it.
Yeah, well put. And Mudslide at Mudslide TV says, the questing, the content, it feels like Blizzard put so much effort in this time. Fantastic story.
Hell yeah. We had some Facebook responses to this. Riley says, I love the Death Knight story. This has been very fun.
And then Josh said, not a WoW player, but the cinematic is by far the most compelling one I've seen for Warcraft. It's got it all. A father's love, airships, the floating water thing, Sylvanas in the rigging, pretty damn good.
And Tremont Rhino says, I thought about this a lot today. There's so much good. It's hard to pick what exactly is my favorite thing about Legion. I'm consumed by the storyline. I've been shocked by the death of so many main characters. I've literally cheered during some cutscenes and gasped during others. I love the scaling zones. I can't say this enough. I love content simultaneously scales with your party. I ran a dungeon at 102 with a 110 tank, and it wasn't a waste of his time. Thank you for that, devs. Most of all, more than anything, I know this is selfish, I love my Fury Warrior spec being relevant again. All throughout MoP and WoD, my Fury Warrior struggled along, living at the bottom of recount. I felt like I was swinging noodles instead of two-handed maces. I read Icy Veins, Elitist Jerks, Nothing Helped. Before in LK and Cataclysm, I was a weapon of mass destruction. A hideous amalgam of pain, terror, and death, needing to be restrained from pulling aggro off a tank. Legion is rekindling that familiar lust for chaos that made me such a valuable member of my raid team, and not just comic relief in Ventrilo. So, TLDR, Fury Warrior is back, and that's my favorite thing. That is so great that Legion is just, like, making people proud of what they play again.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us never stopped, but, you know,
yeah,
even more so.
Yeah, I mean, you were just talking about that with your mage specs.
Yeah, I was literally
even
gushing
within the
about
mage,
it, yeah.
So it's really cool that there's, to get another perspective on that for a different spec.
Absolutely.
Scorbutic at Kentucky Shuffle says, reading the adult novel in High Mountain and then actually running into a tent and seeing the real-life version being played out.
Interesting that you say that, because we thought we might do a dramatic reading of the steamy romance novel.
Oh, God, really?
Got Milk.
Oh, you really want to do this?
I mean, we have to.
Okay.
It's basically the best steamy romance novel yet. So we have not practiced this. In fact, I've just brought this up. So why don't you take the narration and the lead role, and I will
Okay.
I will be the supporting actor.
All right, I knew this existed, but haven't read it yet. So this is actually my first time through. Here we go. All right. So there I was, surrounded by at least 100 Murlocs, the heavily mustached man proclaimed, gesturing in a wide arc. The tawny Tauren gasped in amazement.
Whatever did you do?
Her voice had a brawny, muscular tone to it. The only thing I could do, my lovely. Marcus patted the sword resting on his thigh. I brought them to justice.
Oh, with just a dagger? You are so brave.
Tanda cautiously reached for the blade, but pulled her hand away at the last second. Marcus bristled. What? This is a two-handed sword, enchanted to the hilt. Perhaps not as big as you've seen, but I know a few tricks to really make it sing. Tanda smiled demurely, fluttering her enormous eyelashes. She picked up a piece of cheese and held it close to Marcus's lips.
Try this. It's homemade.
The handsome paladin stammered, No, I'm, lactose intolerant. Tanda placed the cheese back in the bowl.
Oh, are you sure? Does that mean you can't tolerate me?
The buxom Tauren stepped forward, pressing herself against Marcus. The substantial height difference placed his face squarely in her chest. Unable to see, he flailed in protest, finally finding purchase on her firm backside. His muffled apologetic sounds only made her giggle and squeeze him more tightly. Just as his other hand found her tail, the light dimmed as an imposing figure moved into the doorway.
What the?
Tanda exclaimed.
Bax, no!
Marcus pulled his hand away and gasped for air, looking at the angry Tauren with wide eyes. It's not what it looks like. Bax charged, ramming into Marcus while uttering his challenge.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns!
Marcus reeled and caught himself, digging his heel into the dirt. Seizing a horn in each hand, he held the Tauren's head down, fighting against his tremendous strength. Bax forced his head up, grunting and spitting in anger, only to have it repeatedly pushed down. They locked eyes for a moment, and with the final heave of explosive force, Bax wrenched himself free. The powerful Tauren swung his arms out wide, as if to crush Marcus in a mighty hug. "Blades of Light!" proclaimed the paladin, a huge pulsing sword thrust up from the ground between the two combatants, tearing through armor and clothing, searing the thick chest of hair of Marcus and cutting a fine line into the Tauren's muscular chest.
Ow!
Before they could move again, Tanda raised her hooved leg into the air and brought it down with warlike force. The man and bull wobbled, clearly stunned.
Stop it, both of you!
Marcus regained his composure and looked at Tanda, and then to Bax. Fur was ruffled, and the bare parts of their leathery skin glistened with sweat. As they all stared one another down, the ridiculously good-looking Marcus spoke. "Well, since we're mostly undressed already." And then, hold on, I can't. Alright, the steamy romance novel finishes, the story goes on, but your good taste prevents you from reading it.
Can I just say how wonderful that is?
That was amazing.
So you can pick this up in High Mountain. I don't remember where I got it. I think it was just a random drop from looting or something. But you can actually find the little house with all of them laying next to each other asleep. You go to Thunder Totem, up the hill to the east, and it's the second house on the right.
Oh my god.
When you go in, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm sure all of you have done it already, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. But when
I haven't done it.
when you go in, they're all spooning each other.
Okay.
And then something else happens.
Okay.
So you just gotta... But can I say, because of who we are and what we love and what we find hilarious...
Yeah.
God.
It couldn't be more perfect. It's like that was written for us. Okay.
I can't even.
When you suggested reading this for this episode just now, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure I thought that was a good idea.
Oh, really?
However, that was amazing.
You don't trust me?
I should know better.
You know what?
What?
Fuck you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Listener feedback time! Because the more you write, the less we have to. Thanks!
All right, so we have some amazing emails from you guys this week.
Yeah.
The first one is from our dear friend Juden. We were talking last week about what kind of people DDoSers might be.
Yeah.
And she got back to us on that last week in game. She said that she actually DDoSed before.
Yeah.
She was a DDoSer at one point in time. And she told us the story, and it was spellbinding. So she wrote about it here so we could share it all with you, and maybe we'll all get like a better sense of what a DDoSer or who a DDoSer is or what might make somebody a DDoSer. So she says, "Hey ballers, love you both. We love you too. I thought I would share with the both of you my personal DDoS story. Yes, I have been a DDoSer, although probably not for what you may think. One of my high school classes, history, at the time had an assignment due which no one in my class had completed. It required an online submission.
Oh, man.
The next obvious solution for us somewhat techie students was, of course, DDoS our school website to crash it, in which we would use it as an excuse to get out of not submitting work. So we did it. Got 24 people in a single Skype call, punched in the website using the program, and in no less than 4 minutes, the school website was down. Easy peasy.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, I would give all my students a fucking A++ for doing that shit.
Well, the teacher clearly didn't know that happened.
I know, but like, if I knew,
If you found out that they went to such lengths to
Yeah.
get out of...
I mean, gold star, right?
Yeah, creative solutions to problem solving.
Juden wants to make a shout out to a guy she met on WoW last week, Zekan or Zach. She says, "You're the best dude. It is so good to just strike a conversation with a stranger on WoW and to talk for hours on end, ultimately making a new friend. Good luck with your research work at Lake Superior today." So this guy's
That's so awesome.
yeah, it really is. That's a Canadian guy like me, except I'm a Canadian girl. But it's just really cool. Juden's this sort of player who just likes to talk to people.
Oh, yeah, she's awesome.
She's like the glue that holds WoW together.
Yeah.
Those type of people.
And she came into the guild, the Blood of the Scribe on Boulder Fist US guild, and just took to everybody right away. We all love her.
Yeah.
and it's been great to have her. So, Juden, thanks for writing in. Thanks for joining the guild and
we still
spreading
love
your
you,
sunshine.
even though you were a DDoSer.
Well, to be fair, we said the things that we don't like about DDoSing are the people who are ruining somebody's good time.
Yeah, but
and this was ruining a bad time.
Yes.
That's actually kind of the opposite.
Yeah,
this is actually
it's like-
DDoSing for a cause.
Yeah.
Now,
That was a
taking
good
down
cause.
taking down a school's website is probably questionable, but
Oh, wah.
for but I don't think she was sitting there saying that was a righteous thing to do. She's just saying that was a creative way to get out of an assignment.
I guess.
We also got a message from Barnacle, an outlaw Rouge. He wrote Rouge on a camera. He says, "Hey guys, while running around on my Demon Hunter recently, I realized how incredibly annoying it is to constantly hear, 'I've sacrificed everything. What have you given?' That got me thinking. What are your favorite racial quotes that you hear over and over again? Mine are, 'Embrace the shadows,' and 'I ain't got it, you don't want it.' Keep up the awesome show."
Embrace the shadows.
Well done.
Thanks.
It's from Barnacle, the Outlaw Rouge.
Maybe not my favorite, but the harpies in this expansion have just been
Oh my
especially
God.
annoying.
So
I
funny.
want the flesh from his bones. And they just they see you and they're like, ah! Like they're screaming at you, and you're like, I am so glad that I'm on a quest to kill all of you right
Yes.
now and your unborn egg children, because
Everything's so vocal.
I know.
And everything's so trash talky.
Yeah.
This
Just-
expansion, I love it.
My advice for Legion is click on everything a bunch. You know how you click on the peons? Like
Yeah.
the lazy peons, and they tell you, me not that kind of work.
Yeah.
Just keep clicking on everything, because some of them get really pissed off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Especially demon hunters. They get so angry that they're just like, I'm gonna steal your soul and bury you and kill you, and it's pretty awesome. But yeah, the favorite ones, just
Well, I started as a blood elf, so
remember the Sunwell.
Remember the Sunwell was a big
Yeah.
one for me. That was very immersive. I think, and I've said this on the show before, but I think I was a bit of an RPer without knowing it coming in, which is why I named my first tune Thornbrow, which I was told later on was very RP-ish type name. But the experience of interacting with all of those blood elves in the whole starting zone definitely had that feeling for me. So remember the Sunwell is a big one.
So you
I
always
also
remember
said-
the Sunwell.
Right.
Blood and Thunder.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Blood and thunder.
I would love to just say that to people who interact with me on a daily basis. If, I interact with people on a daily basis.
And of course, Loktar Ogar, friend.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I screamed that at somebody on the street last summer because they were wearing a Horde shirt.
That's awesome.
They stared at me.
Come on.
And I'm like...
Come on, dude.
I didn't say that part, though, but I was in my head.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a great friggin' question.
It's a good question.
I think maybe we'll make that the question of the week. What do you think?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go look at some of the older ones
Yeah.
that I used to really enjoy, because I know there's a bunch.
But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barnacle. That's the best name ever.
Yeah, Barnacle. I like it.
We got an email from Jesper who says, Hi, Legging Ballers. I'm a fairly new listener, so I'm currently catching up. I'm currently on episode 28, and I heard the feedback about 2 long episodes. I disagree. Make them longer. Giggity. I love your long rants about anything and everything. Thank you for being awesome and for all the lulls. Glory to the Eternal Alliance. Don't know about that part. But, dude, thank you. I guess you'll really love this episode because, this is our second freeform episode. Usually we have structures and bumpers and things like that. If you go back 2 episodes, you'll find out.
Yeah.
But there's just so much Legion stuff right now that we thought that we should devote a few episodes to, just...
To WoW in particular.
To getting through all that, yeah. As far as catching up on episodes, just the fact that this podcast is usually obsolete by the next week, just because of the things we say.
Yeah.
We try to be a little more general and universal in our rants and stuff, but as a podcaster, people going back and listening to our backlog, especially when we're on episode 68 at this point, it's really, really flattering.
Absolutely.
As doing a podcast, you never expect people to go back to episode 1.
Sure.
Especially if it's about something that's always changing,
Right.
you know? I did that for Smodcast when I started listening back in the day. And, they usually have sort of a general discussion about things, and they bring up funny things in the news and stuff, but it's not stuff that gets obsolete with time.
Right.
So that was fun, but I never expected anybody to go back and listen to all of our
Yeah.
stuff. So thank you.
That's really cool. It's a huge compliment, And also, thank you for being specific about some of that info, about the length of the episodes and about the rants.
Yeah.
Some of those things we get a little self-conscious about. Like,
Absolutely.
Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing?
Yeah.
And so, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. And it's really nice to hear from you, Jesper. Thank you. And we got another.
And welcome to the show.
And welcome to the show. We got an email from Ivanis, which I can't help but notice is Iv Anus. There you go.
Is that why you're having trouble with it?
I was gonna say Iv Anus, and that's not right. Anyway, he says, "Dear Ballers, I just came back to WoW after a few years away.
Yay, welcome
back. I'm really excited to be playing, and I've been eating up as many podcasts as I can. Your podcast truly stands out. It's fun, dirty, and original. I'm currently going backwards in your catalog while pushing forward through the game. That's how good it is. Keep up the good work with your dildos and unicorns."
And I think that about sums it up.
Yeah, dildos and unicorns. That could be like our tagline, like lagging balls. Tagline: dildos and unicorns, or like a unicorn with a dildo for a horn.
Yeah,
like a unido. A dildo corn. A dill corn. That sounds awful. But Ivanis, thank you for also going back and listening to our shit. Like, holy shit. Like, that's just so cool.
That's
like,
crazy.
I never expected anybody to do that ever. So, thank you. And, wow. Thank you for the compliments.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome back to the game. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're back. This is a great time for it.
Yeah.
If you are a listener of the show and you have not gotten into Legion yet and you've been looking for reasons why, I don't know if I could freak out or fangirl any more than I have on this episode, but just as a separate, honest, straightforward comment on this, get the fuck back in the game. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Get in here. We're having a great time.
There's nothing in your life that can be more fun than this.
Yes.
Nothing. Not love, the children, playing outdoor sports, friendship, family.
All those things get in the way.
No, fuck no.
Come join us on Boulder Fist
Personal
US.
hygiene.
And in the
dildos.
In the Blood of the Scribe Guild, and come have fun with us.
Absolutely. Look us up. Blood of the Scribe on Boulder Fist US. We are Horde. It is a PvP server. Oh well. But we'll welcome you. So thank you for everybody for those emails. We really appreciate it. If you would like to send us an email, please do, about absolutely anything. We love it. We eat it up. If you don't want us to read it on air, just say so. That's all good.
We have a lot of. I'm sorry to interrupt. We have a lot of anonymous people who
tons
like
of
to
anonymous.
Write in,
yes.
So that's fine too. You don't even have to put your name on it if you don't want to.
It's all good. We will not reveal you. But yeah, thank you. And also a quick announcement: we are now on YouTube. As of last week, we're on YouTube. So starting with episode 67, that's where it starts on YouTube. You know where to find us otherwise. But yeah, that's a thing. So just look up Lagging Balls, and you'll find it.
Yeah. Look up Lagging Balls anywhere. We're on all of that.
Yeah, and if you need our links and stuff, like just go to laggingballs.com, go to links, and there they are.
Yeah. So welcome all new listeners. Welcome back, and thanks for sticking with us. If you've been here a while, congratulations to everybody on Legion. Congratulations to the folks at Blizzard. You guys are doing a great job. If any of you are listening to this bullshit that we put out every week, that's awesome of you, and thanks for doing it. But keep up the great work. Honestly, this is killer, and we all love it. So
fucking do. So do you want to watch that Ian Hazacostas Q&A again? Because I think it'd be really, just look over it again and just look at it, absorb the information.
I think you need to just.
Who's wearing?
Bye, Felicia.
Oh.
Hey, gang, we need your help. We're tagging this shitbox as a community-focused podcast, but so far it's just been us talking shit. We need you to give us stuff.
Delicious content, like questions, topics to cover,
content segments, guild stories, emails, and disputes that need settling.
We'll even get some shoutouts and accept your own podcast commercials for promotion. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Please.
Okay, why is it that there are no Pokemon around my house? I go to the backyard, nothing. I go to the living room, nothing. But that street across from my house has everything. Why? Why? It's irritating. Anyway, I'm gonna go drive back to work because that is where the nearest Poke Gym is, and coincidentally there are 4 Poke places at work. I don't get it, but they're there. And who knows, maybe I'll meet some trick-or-treaters out there trying to catch some more pocket monsters. Anyway, I'm still irritated at the fact that there are no Pokemon at my house. I mowed the backyard. What else am I supposed to do?
Thanks for lagging balls together with us today. Here's where you can find and follow the show. Email us at laggingballs@gmail.com.
Follow us on Twitter at laggingballs.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/laggingballs.
Reblog our Tumblr at laggingballs.tumblr.com.
And for YouTube and Google+, search for Lagging Balls Official until we have 500 followers, and then we'll get a custom URL.
Ooh, if you enjoyed the show, the easiest way to help the show is to rate us on iTunes and Stitcher. We truly appreciate it.
Special thanks to bensound.com for all the music used on this show.
And be sure to catch us next week on Lagging Balls.
I'm just gonna put in a feedback bumper here. It's fucking.